This is going to be video number 75 on your Firearms Defense channel. I want to weigh in today on the needless tragedy in Arizona that just happened. Now, first of all, my sympathies go out to the 6 people who were needlessly killed and the 12 who were wounded. This is of course, it's a horrible tragedy, and I wouldn't make anything less of it, and my sympathies totally, completely go out to the people who were needlessly killed and wounded. Now, having said that, here's where it's at as far as the rest of us go. Now, I've got a stopwatch here now. I want to make sure I don't run over my 15 minutes here, because I'm going to probably go pretty much the full route today. Now, here's the thing now with me. The rest of us just need to get over it. This was a completely, totally needless tragedy. Arizona is a right-wing state. They have liberal firearms laws. It's easy to get concealed carry there. For this person to walk up to a crowd and shoot all of these people, and nobody there to have a firearm, nobody there to have concealed carry, nobody there to shoot back, nobody there to kill this guy, that's totally, completely inexcusable. It just should not have happened. If it happened here in Los Angeles County, I could understand that because we can't get concealed carry here, but that's not the way it is in Arizona. That's not the way it is in Nevada, and this just flat shouldn't have happened there. It's like that tragedy in Texas a number of years ago at the restaurant where all those people were needlessly killed because the owner wouldn't allow people to carry firearms in there. It's a needless tragedy. It just shouldn't have happened. And here's the big thing with me. We've got to get over this idea collectively that these things should happen periodically. And yeah, here it is right on the front page. This is the Los Angeles Times. Mystery surrounds suspect. It's right down here. Everybody's making a big deal out of this guy, and we don't understand why it happened, and we don't understand him, and we need to understand this guy and why it happened. Well, there's nothing difficult to understand about this guy and why it happened at all. This guy is just a predator. Now, take the ocean for instance. You have sharks swimming around in the ocean. The sharks are predators. They eat tuna fish out there, and the tuna fish are there to be eaten by the sharks, and that's the animal kingdom. That's just the way things work there, and you know, that's their function. That's how things happen. And in the wild out there, you have herds of sheep, and wolves prey on them, except they're guarded by the sheepdogs and the sheep herders, so they don't get to prey on them too liberally. But that's that part of the world. Now, as humans, we don't have any excuse to let these people prey on us. We're supposed to be literally at the top of the intelligence chain. We're supposed to be intelligent. We're supposed to not allow these things to happen. We're supposed to prevent them. Yet we go around totally unarmed, totally at the mercy of these people. They just come along whenever they want to, and they just they see a crowd of people and they go off the deep end. They want to kill people, they just do it, and there's nobody or nothing to stop them. And what we do at the end of these things, here's what we do after all this happens. We have national days of prayer. Prayer is totally, completely useless. It has, you know, we have a whole long history of killing people and wars and stuff like that. Prayer hasn't stopped any of this. It hasn't prevented any of this from going on. We've got our national days of prayer and everything else, and a year from now or 6 months or 3 months or whatever, we're going to have another one of these tragedies, and we'll have more prayer and everything else, and another useless day will go by. And then we're going to have candlelight vigils. You know, of course, we'll burn a lot of candles and set out crosses and pictures and stuff like that. And candlelight vigils have another You know, they're another useless thing that we do, you know, for things like this. They're not gonna help prevent the next one. They didn't help prevent this one. And then, you know, somewhere down the line, they'll probably erect a memorial to these people that were killed. We've got lots of memorials up there. That's all the memorials tell us. They tell us that X number of people were killed, you know, and this is a horrible tragedy, and what can we do to prevent it in the future? Well, now, in the time that I have left here, I'm going to tell you what we can do to prevent this in the future. And here's some ideas that are going to work. They're not all this other useless stuff, prayer, candlelight vigils, memorials. All this stuff is useless. I'm going to give you some ideas that are going to work here. First of all, the first thing is everybody needs to start carrying. You see that guy right there? If anybody there at this slaughter yesterday would have had one of these, that would have been prevented. This wouldn't have happened. Mr. Glock here would have ended that in a hurry. Maybe one or two people would have been killed, and that would have been the end of that. This guy would have been killed, saving the state a needless trial and endless rounds of appeals. And this guy's never going to get the needle anyway. That isn't going to happen. So that's the first thing we need to do to start preventing this sort of thing. Now, the second thing, this problem is probably going to take a couple of generations to fix, and the best thing we can do is just get started on this problem right now. Here's exactly and specifically what we need to do to fix it. First of all, we need to start at the grade school level, and we need to have people, before they graduate from the 8th grade, there needs to be 3 levels of graduation from the 8th grade. Okay, the first level of graduation, you can graduate from the 8th grade with a C average if you just want to be one of the sheep, if you just want to exist in our society, if you just want to hold a low-level job, if you just want to draw welfare, if you just want to do whatever, you can exist at this level. Graduate from the 8th grade with a C average. If you want to be one of the sheep, that's fine, you know. Now, if you want to be a little higher up on the scale, say you want to get a job as a lawyer or a doctor or something like that, and you want to be a little higher up on the scale and to show you have a little sense, to graduate with a B average from the 8th grade, you'd have to do a couple of things. You'd have to participate in Marine boot camp. Now, a good structure for that would be just like the movie Full Metal Jacket. Have people that graduate from the 8th grade participate in this. Have it be an 8-week course, DIs running around screaming at them, yelling at them, stuff like this. And you can do it for males and females too, you know. Girls can participate in this just as well as guys. So you get through 8-week Marine Corps boot camp, graduate from that, and then they graduate from one of the shooting academies and learn to put 2 to the thoracic cavity and 1 to the oculocranial cavity, and do that in 1.5 seconds. And they get through Marine boot camp and learn to present from the holster and put 2 to the thoracic cavity, 1 to the oculocranial cavity in 1.5 seconds. If you do that, you graduate with a B average, and you get into the next level of society. You become a higher member. Now, to get an A average, here's what you'd have to do to get an A average. You graduate from Marine boot camp, you learn to shoot as I described, and to get an A, you have to participate in an execution. You have to open the trapdoor under a piece of garbage like this and watch him drop and hear his neck break and smell the stench of death as his bowels and bladder empty, you know, when the rope pays off. Now, if you do that and you throw up and get sick and say, "No, I'm never going to participate in one of these again," that's okay. You've done it and you still get your A average. Now, if you do this and you say, yeah, so when can I do another one? Oh, wow, this is great. If you can do that, then you get A+ and you graduate at the very top of the heap. And that's what we need to do to fix this problem of these people like that just running around shooting people and nothing happens to them. That's complete, total insanity. For this to happen in Arizona is just absolutely inexcusable. It's unexplainable. The next thing we need to do, yeah, I'm not doing too bad time-wise here. The next thing we need to do is we need to establish front sight shooting schools in every single state in the Union. Every single state in the Union needs to have a front sight. Everybody needs to have access to one of these. Everybody needs to learn how to shoot. And we do that. Everybody starts carrying. Clean out our prisons. Get rid of these people that are taking up space needlessly. Get rid of the police and the SWAT team. They don't do anything but prey on the citizens just like the predators do. They're just as bad as the predators as far as I'm concerned. Citizen carry, stuff like that, empty out our prisons. And that'd be a good start. You do this for a couple of generations and then these things won't happen anymore. So that's going to be it for video number 75 on your Firearms Defense channel. I'm going to sign off here and I'll see you on video number 76.